Hey guys, it's Brother in Christ Weston. It is January 4th. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be reviewing an article from End Times Headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, in our first video of the new year, I believe, maybe, or I did one before. I don't forgot. It says here, major food market in New York City is storing biometric data on shoppers' eyes, voices, and faces. This is the first that I have seen of anything even talking about like a beast system, which we kind of gotten away from because it seems like that came out very strong and then it kind of dwindled away because too many people were in opposition. So I would assume more people are going to be in opposition. So let's get into it. That says Wegmans. I've never heard of that. It says here, a quiet storm has erupted in the aisles of one of New York City's most beloved grocery stores as Wegmans, the sprawling supermarket chain known for its devoted following, has stepped into the unsettling world of biometric surveillance. According to the reporting of the Gothamist, this is Batman? This is new signage posted in Manhattan and Brooklyn locations revealed that anyone who enters this stores, wow, they have signage, may now have their face, eyes, and voice scanned and stored by the company's surveillance systems. They're going to hide that under security for the store. The notice, stark and chilling in its simplicity, states that biometric data is collected to protect the safety and security of our patrons and employees. Brother, you can't, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me three times, you can't get fooled again, kind of situation. Yet, for many shoppers, the explanation offers little comfort. What was once ordinary grocery run has now taken on the feel of futuristic experiment. Cameras quietly observing, algorithms mapping facial contours and vocal patterns, building digital identities without explicit content or meaningful transparency. Wowzers. The revelation marks a significant departure from Wegmans' I've never heard of this place, previously described as a limited program. In 2024, the company said biometric technology was intended primarily for employees and claimed any customer data collected unintentionally would be deleted. Okay, yeah, that's a big departure. The assurances no longer appears in the store's public-facing explanations. Even more troubling, Wegmans has declined to clarify how long biometric data is retained. Ooh, that's not good. How long it sits on storage or servers, and then if that gets compromised and somebody gets into that, I work in cybersecurity. Then you've just somebody else is going to steal your identity, your face, your patterns, your vocal tones, your even just using your voice to talk, right? Vishing, a vishing where they are cloning your voice to talk to people um, with your words and the way you look, or your goodness gracious, brother. Um, who can access it or whether it can be shared with third parties, including law enforcement agencies. For many customers, the realization struck deeply. Johnny Gerardo, 59, expressed a sense of unease and indignation, saying, "I really don't like it. I don't want, I don't want, I don't want no one to think I'm stealing anything or doing anything illegal." Of course, I agree. His words reflect a broader concern that the routine activities are now being filtered through suspicion, surveillance, and silent judgment. They absolutely are. That is a surveillance state if I've ever seen one, or at least in operation. Others responded with blunt clarity. Blaze Herbis 29 questioned the very premise of such data collection. I would as well. We should be able to shop freely without data being saved on us. That's obvious. Her statement echoes a growing public fear that anonymity in the daily life is rapidly disappearing, which privacy is so important. It's so it feels like it's who cares about privacy because everything's public when in fact it's such a critical resource, and anonymity is so critical to have that you are not known to everybody and you should not be known to everybody. um, what is it? Privacy advocates warn that concerns are far more hypothetical. Well, no. Will Owen, their surveillance technology oversight project, issued a sober warning. It's really chilling that immigrant New Yorkers going to Wegmans and other stores have to worry about highly sensitive biometric data potentially getting them into the hands of ICE. Well, uh, I mean, if somebody's here illegally, right? Somebody is here illegally. We've had this conversation. I am for immigrants being coming in. I'm for being an immigrant and going somewhere else. I have to abide by the laws, right? That's it. And every other state that I know of does this, or nation does this, right? And so when we have people that come in who have not been vetted, who have not gone through proper channels, and mind you, we should be making that available for them, not like prolonging something or just making it feel like a black hole where they can't actually become citizens. That's for any nation. But there must be a space where we abide by the laws and not just try to circumvent it for years. Just there's no reason. That stress is not needed. And um, you are not putting that nation first in terms of what you're looking to come in for that nation. You're just putting your own means first. Now, mind you, people may walk in and want to do that because they may be in some kind of stressful situation and they're just trying to protect themselves. And that's, I totally get that. Everything is nuanced. What I'm saying is at some point, to the benefit of the people who are born here or born in other spaces, nations, and whatnot, and for the safety of those people, not because they don't have their own issues internally, but to externally allow some other nation to come in sounds absurd. And it sounds like something that would never happen at any point in time. And every time it did, if it did happen every time, let's just say hypothetically, is that somebody came in with different values, with different cultures, and tried to make the nation they're trying to be in the nation that they left. And they are incoherent. The values, the ideologies, all that are incoherent. That's like trying to take somebody who loves Satan into the kingdom of heaven. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You will be thrown out because you are not of the same value, right? You are a stranger here, right? And so you have not gotten saved. You don't want to be saved, right? You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be an American. You want to be whatever you are here, right? And not abide by the laws. And so that puts Americans at risk. And that's just like, how can you blanket statement that? Well, that's a what if. The issue is why didn't the question would be, why wouldn't somebody want to become an American citizen? If it's everything that you want and dream of, it's here, that's great. Then become American and put America first in terms of the nation and its values. Instead, we have tribalism where people are of tribes and not of their nations, right? And so yeah, I mean, this is something that is, I don't even think that's actually like that for there in general. I'm thinking of people who are here trying to misabuse power and abuse privacy and to coerce things like this with that shouldn't happen with anybody anywhere, no matter what nation it is. Should not happen. Privacy is of the utmost concern. And because that value of that is being, you're being devalued and put in an automatic space of suspicion, or you need to be have surveillance or a social credit score. Golly, man, can we ever make it into a year where there's not a mess going on? We just had this whole Venezuela thing happen. I've been watching so much already, and I took like 2 weeks off technically, not with a video every day, and just so much has already happened. So let's continue. Um, it says, unlike passwords or credit card numbers, biometric data cannot be changed once compromised, making misuse or exposure potentially permanent. I agree. Efforts to rein in the expanding surveillance landscape have stalled. In 2023, New York City Council members proposed a legislation to restrict biometric data use by private businesses following a high-profile facial recognition controversy at Madison Square Garden. That is insane. That bill failed to advance, leaving only a weak 2021 law in place, one that requires businesses to post notices. What else does that say? Does it say, oh, no, post notices, but also does not require consent. That's crazy. Limited retention, right? So they can't hold on to it for X. They have to get rid of it X amount of time, purge it, the data, and impose strong enforcement mechanisms, right, to protect it. As a result, the burden falls squarely on the consumer. Shoppers must either accept, right, or avoid the store entirely, and that's what it will come down to. And that's when we start thinking about a beast system where you cannot buy or sell a see who have the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of his name, and it says let the reader understand that this is the number of a man. His number is 666, right? And the number would go on the right hand, a charagma, right, or the forehead. And so that's what it says on the right hand or the forehead. Could mean like the right hand of power, a hand of power that we use, right? We're talking about symbolically in the forehead, meaning in the space of knowledge, like your mind, or we're talking about an actual etching, right? And so I believe it's an actual etching, something that will show, but I can see both. Um, as a result, right, legally, the legal recourse exists in theory, but requires individuals to pursue action on their own, a barrier that makes meaningful accountability, right? So then every single person would have to come out of funds to be able to sue and to fight instead of being held at the highest governing law of the land that you're in that says like you cannot impose on this, right? Um, so yeah, man. Um, that's pretty nuts. I saw this, and as I see some things here, like Mom Donnie, you see it right there. As he prayed upon the Qurans, I see stuff about AI. I see stuff about Venezuela. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. So we're gonna get into it. Happy 2026, y'all. So, anyways, that's the video. If you like the video, be sure to like the video. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I believe the Lord is going to do so much this year, not only for you, but for me. I'm praying for the Lord's best over your life, the Lord's best in your health, that you take your health seriously, in your finances, to stop the stress of that and negative thought life and negative thought patterns and anything that would affect your mind negatively, because that is a sickness in and of itself that would do tons of damage. I am praying for those things in your brain and in your body to be healthy, and then everything else to follow. First being obedient to the Lord, a healthy body and mind, and then other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one.